Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, as you can see, we're going to continue working on the GSXR-750. In the previous video, we got a whole lot of work done. We're far from done. So in the last video, we started working up front over here. We have a brand new rad over here, new forks, new lower tree, upper triple tree. All of that got taken care of. New front axle and a new front fairing stay or instrument cluster holder, whatever you want to call it. In today's video, my goal is to tackle things on the rear end of this motorcycle. I obviously pointed out all the damages in the rear end of this motorcycle to you guys before. Now we're going to start replacing these parts. And to complete the repairs on the rear end of this motorcycle, we have a package over here from BG Powersports. Now in here we have some very important components that's going to make this rebuild much possible. We have our beautiful dash, a replacement one. As you can see over there, the original one is destroyed, and we picked up a nice replacement unit. And we also have our beautiful undamaged swing arm compared to what we have over there. They also decided to hook your boy up with a nice cup over here. Can't have too many of these. I also have some stickers in there. I'm gonna be sure to make use of this. Now I know what you're thinking. This is not sponsored. I paid full price for everything you see here today. These guys are local to me. Well, almost local. They're in Alberta, Canada. And it's nice to see a Canadian retailer or parts or used parts seller out there. You guys can purchase anything you want from them on eBay. They ship worldwide, so it's beneficial. And their prices are one of the best you can find out there. So now that we have the new parts out of the way, it's time to get into removing the old swing arm. Now I'm removing the connecting arm. Got the bolt out. Now we're going to remove a special Suzuki apparatus over here. I'm going to go ahead and cut the chain. I'm going to go ahead and remove the shock absorber. It's easily accessible on both sides, and then we can pull out the swing arm. Got the nut out. Now I can remove both the shock and the swing arm. And now guys, as you can see, I have the swing arm and the shock separated from the motorcycle, and we have those two parts over here. And if we look on this side of the swing arm, you can see the extent of the damage. This piece is actually bent. You can see that little curve in there. So this sustained quite some damage. And you can see how this connecting arm is completely snapped clean off. This is crazy. I've never seen this before. But we have a replacement piece for this, of course. And as usual, it's obviously dirty in here. So we're gonna go ahead and clean this out before we start fitting the new or the replacement swing arm assembly. So now let's get to cleaning. Now guys, as you can see, I've cleaned out everything in that area. We have our new connecting links over here to replace the one that is completely destroyed. So let's get to it. And for reference, you can see how badly destroyed this is. Both of them. This is just crazy. But we have the brand new CNC aluminum replacement ones. That's gonna go on the bike. And now just so you guys have a better idea of the damage in the swing arm, as you can see, it's super dented over there, and this piece is actually bent and curved. Compared to this one, it's nice and straight and looks good over here. So now I'm gonna go ahead and install the new swing arm on the motorcycle. Now I'm going to install the new connecting link. Alright guys, it's another day in the garage. We're gonna hop back on the 750. I now have the swing arm fully installed on the motorcycle. Really good progress. I will not be replacing the chains and sprocket in this bike because, like I mentioned before, it had super low kilometers, about 2,000 kilometers on this bike. So it is really good. I might install a new chain, yet to be seen. Over in this corner over here, we have a lot of the original parts, pieces, little bits and pieces that we're gonna need to put this bike together, that this bike came with. I really like having this, because there's always little things that you're gonna end up needing. So I have a whole bunch of stuff over here that's gonna help me put the 750 back together. At this point, I would like to throw on the brand new dash that we received, or new to us dash that we received. But before I go ahead and do that, I would like to repair this wiring that I found here, and then start throwing things together in the front end. And now I have the wiring situation taken care of here. We're gonna go ahead and remove the destroyed dash and install the new one. After going through my salvage parts, I found the one bushing that's required to mount the dash. Now I'm going to install the new dash. And secure it in place. Alright guys, on the next part I'm going to throw on the bike the ram air intakes for the 750. I have two new replacement ones in here to go on the bike. Now over here where we have our parts warehouse, we also have a bushing to swap from that piece to install the new one. Oh wow, look at that. Alright, Milwaukee ratchet just died. So Milwaukee, I need some answers. Or a new ratchet. Or both. Now we have the plastics that go on the rear swing arm fully installed. We're gonna go ahead and take care of this big old plastic over here and install a tail tidy that should clean up the rear end a lot better. Grab that piece out and have this other broken piece out too. Quite dirty in here as usual. Got a starway in here. Now guys, as you can see, I've done quite a bit of cleaning over here. We have the battery reinstalled. Before I go ahead and button it up, I'm gonna go ahead and install this battery tender adapter so we can charge the battery if this bike sits for a long period of time. Now guys, the battery is fully installed. We have the battery tender cable installed, routed over here, and just sticks out over here, nice and clean. Now I'm gonna go ahead and continue putting things back together in this area of the motorcycle. Now for me to secure things on the bottom end over here, I'm going to install the new tail tidy. We're just going to fit them just like so. Now installing the license plate lights. Just going to go like so.
Yeah.
And now I'm back here. As you can see, we're taking care of things in the back end. New fairing over there, new fairing underneath. I have the beautiful tail tidy fully installed over there with a nice license plate light that I wired up and installed. And now as you can see, the bike is turned on. If we go back here, brake light works, the license plate light works. Everything is looking really good over here. And we have the damaged clutch lever out. Now at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and lube the clutch cable before I go ahead and reinstall everything. And now the clutch cable has been lubed. We're gonna go ahead and reinstall the cable. And now over here, I've picked up some new levers for the clutch and the brake side. Looks good. Now I'm gonna install the clutch cable. We're gonna install the new bushing. Now that's fully secured. And we have the original lever off. And now I'm ready to install the new lever. Now guys, I'm gonna go ahead and perform a caliper or brake service. But before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and drain all the brake fluid in this motorcycle. Now I'm gonna remove this bracket. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove the brake hose at the master cylinder. And we should now route it correctly and reinstall it. So now, like I mentioned, my goal is to perform a brake caliper service on the 750 because the brake caliper is in no good condition. As you can see in here, there's lots of debris and gunk built up over there, and the same goes for the other one too. It's not looking good. So my goal is to go ahead and clean this up as good as possible. And now I'm going to go ahead and add some new brake fluid. And now I'm going to start bleeding the brake system. As always, you always want to start from the farthest brake caliper to the master cylinder, which is usually the clutch side on the motorcycle. Now we're going to close it up. Now I'm going to go ahead and top up the brake. Now I'm bleeding the master cylinder. Now we have excellent brake feedback. I'm going to go ahead and install the dust cap. That's it over there. And same on this side. And just like that, guys, we're looking really good in the front end of the motorcycle. We have the brakes bled, the caliper service completed, everything reinstalled and torqued to specification. Now I'm going to go over to the rear side of the motorcycle and do the same thing. We're going to bleed the rear brake caliper, perform a caliper service, and get some new fluid in there. Guys, I gotta tell you, it's never ending with this bike. As you can see over here, I just reinstalled everything. I put the rear wheel on and I just spun it for a sec and I was gonna walk away and I noticed something. Tell me you can see that. I'm sure you can see that on the camera. It's quite obvious. One more time. That wheel is not spinning straight. I'm gonna go over here. You definitely see it. Yep. Right about there. So yeah, it looks like we have a problem back here. And it's not a good one. But right over here, the wheel is bent. I'm not sure if you can see that, but right over there. I'm not sure if this is fixable or not, but I was definitely not expecting that one. So we're gonna need to do something about that. More importantly, I don't even have any idea how something like this is gonna happen. Nothing, or none of this damage on this bike is making any sense whatsoever. The damage to the swing arm did not make any sense, and now the damage to the rear wheel, something is just not adding up on this bike. We're gonna attempt to fix this if possible. I highly doubtful. I'm gonna look to see if I can find a replacement one, obviously, and we'll see what happens. Alrighty guys, that's a wrap for today's video. As you can obviously see, a lot of work got done on the GSXR-750. There's a couple more parts I'm waiting for, obviously like the rear wheel, the fairing kits and things like that, to completely tie this bike together, and we shall be done with this rebuild. On that note, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you enjoy videos like this, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, drop a comment, all that fun stuff, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.